ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Any questions, clarification before we go ahead? We did the 36th verse last time. Yeah, Anu, you have a question?
Namaste, Swamiji. I was just listening to the recording of the last class, and at the beginning of the last class, you said you talked about tapas and sakshi bhava and how they should go together to prevent dissociation. Because if there's dissociation, then you can't have sarvatma bhava.
Correct.
And so my question is, like we practice tapas, should we also be practicing Sarvatma Bhava, and if so, how best to go about it?
To practice Sarvatma Bhava?
Yeah, should we be doing that?
It may be better to focus on the knowledge and the contemplation part of it, the Nididhyasana, and let the Sarvatma Bhava come in. Because if you practice Sarvatma Bhava that I am everything, it will become very difficult to function. So it's better to, in contemplation, practice that until it becomes very natural without negating the functioning part of it. Yeah.
Thank you, Swamiji. That clears it up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions or clarifications? Okay. Good. Then let's go ahead. It says, ग्रहणान् जागृतस्तदेतुः स्वप्न दृश्यते तद्वेत्वेतु न तस्यैव सज्जागृतः इष्यते. The Jagrat, the waking, is now flipping it around, okay? Is experienced like the dream only, no? Therefore, he says, why can't you take dream as the cause? Normally we will say, Jagratam ishyate, hetutvat tasyeva, Jagratam ishyate. The idea is that Swakale in its own time both appear to be real. So logically, you cannot prove which is real and which is false. How can you prove which is real and which is false? Based on logic alone. Because every logic that you give will be from the standpoint of the waker. Because in waking state you are giving the argument. So he says, for functioning wise, let us take that the dream follows the waking. Why? Because right now we are correlating in waking state. Because that is what's natural for us right now. Yeah. So that much. And in dream you will not see anything which you are not already known in waking. If at all an argument can be there, this is the only argument that can be there. That whatever you see in dream, you would have seen in waking. And if you are seeing something like a man with horns or something like that, in dream, it is because you have seen the horns and the man separately in waking state. And you are just mixing it up there. So for all practical purposes, we will take waking as the hetu for dream. The dream world is made from the experiences that you have collected in the waking, but not completely dealt with, pushed into your subconscious, so it manifests in dream. Because we see a lot of things around when waking, we don't always process all that thing. Chalega? Yeah, Punjab vacation.
Yes, Swamiji, but this conclusion we can do only when you are looking at in the logic of
Waker, that's what I...
But In dreamerhood, what is the logic which we cannot understand now? It can
Because
be different than
as far as the dreamer is concerned, you don't exist. Waker is aware of the dreamer. Is the dreamer aware of the waker at any time?
But we don't recollect that logic at that time, no?
That's what I'm saying. So the dreamer does not give that logic. So what did I start by saying? I started by saying you cannot prove which is real.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how my initial comments were based on.
Correct.
That. So every comment later has to be referred to that. So that is the starting point I had said. That you cannot really prove which is more real logically. And I said practically we will take this because we are all interacting in the waking state. And the...
At a Vyavaharika level, we take this as...
Yeah. I'm not saying more real. I'm saying that this has caused that. That is all we say. That's all. Karika is also not saying this is more real. He is saying waking is hetu for dream. He is not saying it's more real. Neither have I said it is more real. We have just said that waking becomes a hetu for dream. So from that standpoint also we can say both are unreal. Because cause itself is the effect itself is a cause, no? Cause effect are not two separate things.
When the effect is mithya, cause has also to be mithya only.
Correct. So there is where the whole thing comes in. But it's also important to understand that psychologically speaking, unprocessed thoughts create dreams. And sometimes certain thoughts don't have to be processed also. You're going in a bus, you see so many things outside. You see two people fighting, coming to blows. Created certain thoughts. Forget it, yaar. Where am I going to stop and break up that fight or something like that? I'm in a bus, yaar. We drove ahead. And then later on what? Forgot about it. Forgot means it went into your subconscious. So sometimes the whole thing will come up in dream. You will see a fight or something like that happening. You may see yourself getting into a fight. Now in japa and meditation, processing does not happen. But in meditation, when you quieten your mind, sometimes these subconscious issues can be thrown up. If they are serious enough to demand attention, they will be thrown up. It is called kashaya. We'll come to it in this chapter itself. So when it is thrown up, you have to deal with it. But dealing with it is not a meditative process. Dealing it with is a waking process, a thoughtful process, a psychological process. The spiritual part comes with a sense of surrender, this, that, etc. Asking Ishvara's grace, that is the spiritual part of it. But processing is psychological. Clear about this? Yeah. Okay. Then going ahead, he says.
I have a question here.
Shoot.
So in deep sleep, because the trikuti is absent, there is no knower. During inside deep sleep, we don't. Only when we wake up, we say that I slept well or I was in.
So how do you say you slept well?
Right. So we say that there is a sakshi which permeates all the three states.
Exactly.
But the knowing or expressing it happens only after waking up.
Correct.
That
because
means waking up means.
and why do you think that expression happens only on waking up?
Because of mind coming into.
Exactly, because mind is asleep. In deep sleep, mind is not functioning. It is asleep.
Yeah.
So only when the mind wakes up can you express it. No?
Okay, so do I need the mind, body, and the world to express? When I wake up, then it becomes like a dependency, right? Without mind, body, and this thing, I cannot express what was experienced in deep sleep.
Correct. Therefore, what happens? So, what is the problem in that? So, expression of your experience of deep sleep will happen only when you get out of that state. The experience happens in deep sleep, but the expression of it, talking about it, can happen only in waking. This is fact. Correct. So, what is the question now?
Okay, so basically we are just verbalizing the experience, that does not give it confirmation.
So, the experience is not dependent on waking. The expression is dependent on waking.
Right. Okay.
Because the sleeper does not require that expression.
Correct.
Does the
So,
sleeper have to say, I am sleeping? In fact, if he says, I am sleeping, he is awake. He is not sleeping. Therefore, the sleeper is not dependent on the expression.
Right. So, verbalization is not proof, it is just expressing it.
Exactly.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. It is the Sakshi that is witnessing everything. Then the Sakshi and the mind is Adhyasa, gets identified. Then you say, I slept.
Yeah.
Okay.
Swamiji,
Yeah.
if we start expressing in deep sleep, then you cannot sleep at all.
You better be careful, especially if your wife is listening. All your secrets can come out. And if you are dreaming and thinking of that you are going to the bathroom, please don't go to the bathroom. Wake up. Yeah. Okay. Problems हो सकता है. So these are certain practical things that come up as corollaries. Okay.
I didn't hear.
Yeah.
Swamiji, what about people who talk? They actually talk when they're sleeping. Don't
Talking.
realize it.
Talking happens, sleepwalking happens, lot of stuff happens.
Yes.
Yeah, lot of stuff happens. They are not completely in deep sleep at that time. They are either dreaming or the state is called Ubhayata Prajnam, an in between state between waking and deep sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, human mind, capable of anything. Yeah. Sleepwalking, how many people sleepwalk? Yeah. True. Yeah. Once I remember in the ashram, I shared a room with somebody. Every night he would get up, open the door and say, "Bola na nahi chahiye karke," and then he'll close the door. 2-3 nights in a row it happened. Then the 4th night when it happened, I woke him up. So he didn't understand, okay, there is something happening. Yeah. So, and during my camping days, one character really thought he was sleepwalking. Why? Because the night we picked him up along with his bed and left him outside in the veranda. Practical jokes, okay? It doesn't prove anything. It doesn't expand our knowledge or extend our knowledge of this, okay? I'm just mentioning it because a lot of stuff happens. Let us take the broad categories and deal with it. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Then he says, उत्पादस्य अप्रसिद्धत्वात् अजं सर्वं उदाहृतं न च भूतात् अभूतस्य Sambhavo asti katanchana. He says, Utpadya. For this Jagat, Utpadyam, creation, Aprasiddham. It is not well established. That the world is a creation is not established. Because this is the logic for it. Okay. How do you say this phone is a created entity? How do you say that?
Knowledge.
Supposing I were to tell you, no, this phone, there is this place, okay, near Haryana, in one of the villages, okay, further ahead from Gurgaon and all that, you go, there, it is called Phoni Bada, where phones come out of the ground. Okay. And people pick up them, collect them and sell them. Will anyone believe that? Why not? Because it has been a made thing, right? It is manufactured. Have you seen it being manufactured? Then how do you know? Correct. Because if not this phone, some other phone or an equally real or unreal object you have seen being created. From some material, you saw an object being created. Everyone has seen it. Same degree of reality. Vyavaharikam. May not be phone, it may be a pot, it may be a kurta, it may be a dress, maybe even a cup of tea. You have seen something, correct? And from that you are extending it. You are extending that. So what is creation? You are seeing a time when it was not there and anticipating a time when it will not be there. You bought a phone. How long do you expect it to last? With me, things last. So 6 years, 8 years, more than that. Phone will no more function as phone. Correct? The phone will no more function as a phone. That means what? You are seeing the prak abhava and the pradvamsa abhava. The prior non-existence, the later non-existence. This is important to establish something is a created entity. Now you are saying entire world is created. Have you seen this world or a similar world being created and ending? No, this solar system I have not seen, but I have seen some other systems which was created and then it went to destruction. No scientist has seen it. No astrophysicist has seen it. They may see a star exploding, the destruction, or they may see a star forming the creation. Both they will never see. Why? A billion years will go in between. Therefore, you cannot establish this is a creation. Because you cannot establish this is a creation, he says, one of the reasons, he says, Sarvam bhutadhritam udahritam. He says everything is existence only. How do you jump? Because it is not created, how do you jump to say it's only existence? Because you examine anything in the creation, it will resolve into existence. this phone, which is physical, existed as a concept in someone's mind. Every aspect, every function, every app existed as a function in someone's mind, as a concept in someone's mind. Then it got actualized. So what is it? Creation? There is no creation, only manifestation of something. That's why you say all manifestations are mithya, not real. The moment you use the word manifestation, mithyatvam is a given. The example would be wave and ocean. The wave is a manifestation. So wave is mithya, is a given. Water is a satya. So similarly, anything in this world resolves into existence, because we are living in an existing world, not in a non-existing world. Therefore, he says, there is no real creation. Where is creation? है ही नहीं है. You're seeing something. What can I do if you're seeing something? But perception is proof. No. Perception only shows names and forms. Your perception does not tell you whether it's real or unreal. Otherwise, everything you see on TV should be real. You saw a soap opera on TV, and all those people should be living in your room now, suddenly. Half a dozen characters are now sitting around. Why? Because TV mein dekha. It doesn't happen. No? Just because you saw doesn't mean it is functionally available. Seeing does not prove reality. Seeing only proves there is something there. Some appearance. Therefore he says, Nacha bhutat abhutas. But the unreal came from the real. Na? From the real rope, an unreal snake came. Correct? He says, Nacha bhutat abhutasya sambhava asti katanchana. From the real, unreal cannot come. But what about rope snake? So did the snake come? You saw the snake, I am not seeing the snake. You saw it, I am not seeing it. Remember that story? Even functional realities. The story of my American friend and the Maharashtrian meal. You eat on very low tables. You didn't see the pot. Why? Because from the real, the unreal cannot come. From the real, the mithya also cannot come. Because this is mithya, there is no coming. There is only an appearance. So the world is also only an appearance. Where is it coming? All that is there is one existence awareness. Satyam jnanam anantam brahma yo veda nihitam guhayam so ashnute sarvan kaman sa. Taitriya. Then tasmat etasmat atmana akashadi sambhuta. Manifestation. Why manifestation? Because he goes back and says Brahma Pucham Pratishta, all that is there is only Anandam. He began with the consciousness, in between he talked about some world, ended up with the consciousness. So where is the world? Something that you are seeing, but not really there. If it is not really there, can you say the unreal has come from the real? See, in modern Vedanta, you hear such expressions. From the real, the unreal came. From the real, the unreal appeared. It didn't come. How can it come?
So, Swamiji, I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Are you using appearance and manifestation synonymously?
So, when you say manifestation, you are implying mithyatva. When you are saying creation, you are implying something which is real.
What about appearance?
Yeah. Appearance is manifestation, same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah. When you say appearance, you say mithya, manifestation. All these are similar terms. In terms of its implications. Creation, you imply something is different, something is real.
If we add the word as though.
As though, fine enough. As though real. Yeah. Mithya, best word is mithya. Apparent. Unreal. Sat asatbhyam anirvachaniyam. Which cannot be categorized as real or non-existent. So all these things. So this creation hai kidhar? See, from Satyam can Satyam come? Why not?
Satyam cannot undergo any change.
Satyam cannot undergo any change, being limitless. Being limitless, it cannot undergo any change. So from Satyam, Satyam cannot come. From Satyam can Tucham, complete non-existence come? Non-existence doesn't exist for it to come. From Satyam can Mithya come?
No.
It cannot come.
The Karyam has to have the properties of the Karanam. So if Satyam is the Karanam, the Karyam cannot be Mithya.
So you are saying Karyam is possible?
No. It is just our this one. We are putting
Because
a
you said
different
Karyam is Mithya, na?
Hmm.
So that means
Karyam
Mithya
is
comes from
Mithya.
Satyam.
No.
Then what are you trying to
That's
say? You said Karnam, the Karyam will have qualities of Satyam.
Satyam.
Yeah.
So what you are adding is only a Namarupa only for the same Satvastu.
So what is it? Has it come or not come?
So manifestation.
It's a manifestation.
Yes.
When you're saying manifestation, what do you mean? Appearance.
Appearance.
When you say Mithya has come, see, this is where you start categorizing Mithya as another degree. That's why I asked this question, to knock off that conceptualization in your mind. Mithya means what? Nothing really there. It's only an appearance. So it is a Satyam itself that appears as a Mithya. When you said you are adding Nama Rupa, what you are saying
all.
is the Satyam itself is appearing as a Mithya. That
Satyam
means
is-
what? Listen now. What does it imply? There is no separation. There is no coming. There is no separation because where the Mithya is, there the Satyam is. So where is Atman? Where the Ahankara is? Where is the Atma? Where the Ahankara is? Why? The Ahankara is nothing but appearance of the Atma. Atma appearing limited in your mind is called Ahankara. No, but Swamiji, Atma is beyond everything. Can you see where the problem comes in? What are you, beyond Ananda? What? Otherwise, why should you say all this? Or you'll have to say, when consciousness, when it is filtered through the avidya, it becomes a world. Yeah. And you can make charts for it to demonstrate it, all that. That's not what we are talking about. Atma appears as Ahankara. अभी बोलो क्या करने का है? So where is the Atma? Where the Ahankara, you will find the Atma also. Where will you find the rope? Where you find the snake? No, this is snake. Rope you have to come to my garage. I kept it in my garage. You go and hang yourself with that rope. I have to deal with the snake here. So where is the ahankara? Oh, ahankara is here, right here. Body, mind, etc. And where is the atma? Beyond. Kidhar? Where the ahankara is. That's why if you look at the Taittiriya, I've done it with you all, but I'm reminding you, वो time हो गया ना, भूल गया रहेगा. Yeah, that's the term Asi is possible. Yeah, Tattvamasi, that Asi is possible because of that. True. See, in Taittiriya, what does it say? Very nicely put there, if you want, just to remember, because the Taittiriya is a highly practical thing, presented in a very practical manner. From Atma, there is Brahman, Akasha, Adi Sambhuta, Prithvi, from Prithvi, Okshadibhya, plant life, from plant life, Annam, food,
Annat Purusha hai.
Annarasamaya. Now look at it. Annamaya Kosha is finite, don't have to be proved because you experience it. Then what is he saying? Anyantaratma Pranamaya. Tenesha Purna. This fills up the body. It appears as a Purusha. Purusha Vidatam, Purusha Vidim, Purusha Viditam. Both statements are there. Correct? So this is taken as a Purusha now. First Annamaya was taken as Purusha. Now Manomaya, Pranamaya is taken as Purusha. Then to prove finitude, you have that Pakshi Kalpana. Left side, right side, all that stuff. Then Anyantaratma Manomaya. Tenesha Purusha. Purusha Vidita. It is the Purusha now. Then left side, right side, everything. Then Vijnanamaya. Same thing. Tenesha Purna, Purusha Vidita. Meaning it fills up everything. It fills up everything. Then Anandamaya Kosha. Fills up everything, finitude. Then he is not saying Anyantaratma, Ananda Swarupa. It doesn't say that. Brahma Pucham Pratishtam. Brahman is the basis for the whole thing. It's important to see that. Because he is not presenting the Atma as away from the Koshas. Brahma Pucham Pratishtam. The Brahman, the reality is the basis for all the koshas. Individual and total. Individual Annamaya kosha will become Ishvara's body, totality. Prana will become the cosmic prana. Mind and Vijnana will become Hiranyagarbha. Your Anandamayam is what? Brahma Pucham Pratishtam. It's not presented as separate. Anyantaratma, he doesn't say. Now I heard a great, very popular teacher saying this. Here the Upanishad is eloquently silent. You have to refer back to Kata Upanishad, where he says, Kascha dhiraha avrita chakshu. Some intelligent person turns his focus inside and realizes the transcendental self. ये किधर से लेके आया? Each Upanishad is supposed to be complete by itself, whether it is major or minor. Each dialogue is complete by itself. Now, to understand something, you may refer to something else. But this is complete by itself. You are understanding this by referring to something else. Like how we are doing right now. To understand Mandukya, we are referring to what we have done before Taittiriya. But we are not saying Mandukya is incomplete, therefore I have to refer to Taittiriya. Brahma Pucham Pratishtam, that's it. Brahman is the basis for everything. So where the Mithya is, there the Satyam is. If still at this level, if you are thinking of transcendental realities, forget it, you are wasting your time and my time. Honestly. That immanence has to be seen. There is no coming. If the truth was transcendental, then you will have to say Mithya came. And if you are saying Mithya is coming, then it is no more Mithya. Because separate from the reality, no? Even if it is existing for a short time, separate from the reality. It has got a reality of its own. Independent of Satyam, the Atma. And if it is Mithya, it cannot exist separately. Mithya does not have a separate existence. That is why we translate Mithya as what? Dependent reality. A reality that exists depending upon Satyam. This excludes cases of son-in-law, father-in-law. I exist depending on my father-in-law. That is not what is called about here. Those are cases are excluded. Okay. नहीं तो अतिव्याप्ति हो जाएगा ना, so I have to see that. Extension doesn't happen. Leaving such cases aside, yeah. Dependent reality means exists depending on it. It cannot have a separate existence then. The moment you say dependent reality, you have to understand this, it cannot have a separate existence. That's what you mean dependent reality. Otherwise, these just become further concepts in your mind. So, that is it. There is no creation, he says. Na bhutad abhutasya sambhava. The real cannot give birth to the unreal. The real itself, sometimes, due to certain conditions, appears as the unreal. Okay. 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 Then little bit he is telling for practical purposes about the waking world. He says this. Okay. Or we can take this as a Purva Paksha also. Saying, no, some things it can, sometimes an unreal thing can give a birth to another unreal thing, etc. Look at it. Asat jagrito drishtva swapne pashyati tanmayaha asat swapne pi drishtva cha pratibodha na pashyati. Asat jagrite drishtva. You saying world is asat. No? Okay, I saw the world, jagritam, in the waking state. Dream, I reproduce the same thing. There it appeared very real, but. Or, I can say, I saw a paper snake. Snake made of paper mesh. Some art project. And in the dream I saw it as real. So the unreal can cause unreal. No? Real can cause unreal, unreal can cause unreal. All that is possible. But he says, asat swapne pi drishtaha cha pratibuddho na pashyati. Supposing I saw some unreal thing in dream, a man with two horns like a bull. Waking up, you don't see a person like that. You see bull-headed people, but you don't see people having bull horns. You don't see. That means what? Waking should be real, no? He says, na asatya siddhe tu kama sabaddha sangatu katha satcha sadhetukam nasti sadhetukam akutaha. He says, from the unreal, an unreal thing cannot be born. The snake that you see on the rope cannot give birth to another snake. From this snake that you see on the rope, can you say, oh, there is one snake there and one snake there also? Unless there is another rope there, okay? So from the snake you cannot have unreal, another thing cannot come. then from the real, can the unreal come? As I said before, it cannot come, it can only appear. From the real, it cannot come. Okay? Then, can from Sat existence another Sat come? Samji, clay and pot.
No.
From existing clay, we got existing pot. No?
It's a whole, it's indivisible.
What is the layer number?
The clay itself is the pot.
There's no part.
The clay itself is the pot. Okay. So it does not come. Okay. It does not come.
Because it's indivisible, right?
Huh?
Because it's indivisible.
Yeah. This does not come. Okay. Okay. Satcha tad hetukam. Therefore he says, how can this whole samsara that you see in the whole world come from the real Atma? Isavasyam idam sarvam. Isavasyam. Everything is nothing but Isha. Everything is nothing but consciousness. Bas. In between, some things are appearing. One water. So this Atlantic Ocean, this Pacific Ocean, this Indian Ocean. Marking hai. Atlantic waters are different. It will not merge with the Pacific waters. You are creating artificial divisions. You creating artificial differences. Where is it? The whole grid is one water grid. Finished. You call it different things. Indian Ocean. Pakistan is upset with it. Why are you saying Indian Ocean? Because the Indian subcontinent, when we named it Indian Ocean, you didn't exist separately. No, but now we exist. You remove the hate, you don't exist. You remove one emotion, you will not exist separately. Yeah. So there is the whole thing. So how can the mithya come from Satya? There is no coming, it's only an appearance. So this whole world has not come from Brahman, this whole world has come. Manifested, appeared. Now, from now on, use the word appearance. It's an appearance. Because manifestation also, you feel there is some reality. We use the word manifestation only to account for vyavaharikam. Yeah, only for vyavaharikam we will use manifestation. Really speaking, appearance only. The more, if you use the word appearance, the nebulous nature of mithya becomes clearer. Isn't it? Use the word manifestation and use the word appearance. See what happens in your mind. Because words, etymological meanings are important. Epistemology depends upon your language. Your knowledge depends upon language. Because it's not just words. Words are concepts. Manifestation implies some sort of this thing. Whereas appearance involves just appearance. World is an appearance. Your ahankara is an appearance. Your relationships are appearance. Your functioning is appearance. Samji, but they are important, no? Apparently. Apparently, of course they are important. That's the whole thing. Nothing has come from anything. The whole thing is nothing but an appearance. That's it. हो गया काम. So unreality cannot be the cause. Reality also cannot be the cause. Tucham can never be the cause. Total non-existence can never be cause. Because people say that from Shunyam everything has come. From Shunyam what can come? Nothing can come. Shunyam means nothingness. And if you are really meaning nothingness as Tucham, complete non-existence, what can come from complete non-existence? There is nothing to come. From nothing, only nothing can come. And Shunyam cannot be the basis of existence because we are living in an existent world, not in a non-existent world. So for an existence appearance, you need an existing reality. Something that exists can appear as something else. The rope can appear as a snake. We are walking on a rope. Samjhi, the snake that you see, I see something there. That's unreal, not real. Acha, it's a rope lying down there. No, there is no rope. Where is my stick gone? But if you are saying from nothing a snake has come, that means the snake is real. No? A snake has come without a rope. Means what? It's a real snake. You have to deal with it. So from Shunya something cannot come. From Mithya something cannot come. From Satyam also something cannot come. Now what has come? All your ideas, that's all. There's only one existence awareness appearing as all this. All this is just appearances. Bas itna hi hai. So Shunyam cannot also be Satyam. And anyway you are not going to experience Shunyam. You are not going to see Shunyam. You are not going to know Shunyam. How can you know?
You yourself will not be there.
Exactly. You cannot experience because you are existing. How can an existing entity experience his own non-existence? That's like saying, I don't have a tongue. Like saying, I don't have a tongue. Because if I don't have a tongue, I can't say it. So even if someone said, no, I have experienced Shunya. Who experienced I? Were you there or were you not there? If you are there, you are existent, not Shunya. If you are not there, you cannot say you experienced it. Shunyata is a concept. Useful concept for function. Why useful concept for functioning? Because you have to understand what is emptiness. What is there in the room? Nothing. Meaning what? Room is there, space is there, flooring is there, earth, all there is there. But there's nothing else inside it. So Shunya is a functional concept. Actually that concept didn't come from pure Shunya. The concept of zero did not come from pure Shunya. It came from the understanding of Maya. By itself does not have value. You add it to something, it has got value. Or it devalues it. Depends on where you add it. So the idea of zero came from Maya. The idea of infinity from Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Yeah, if there is something called, if you say there is something called Shunya, then it will be dependent on Sat. No? In fact, whatever you say is pure non-existence are combinations. The horns on my head, Shunya, non-existent. My head is existing. The horns are there on a buffalo. The combination of the buffalo's horns and my head is not there. Isn't that what ideas of non-existence or shunya about? It's an empty room. There's nothing there. Room is there, no? Floor is there. Walls are there. Ceiling is there. Space is there. Air is there. How many things are there in the room? But to understand the idea of emptiness, we'll use the idea of shunya, zero, etc. Yeah, so if shunya is called tucham, it doesn't exist. But in Buddhist philosophy, the word shunya gained currency. That is why you will never find another Buddha. And this came about probably because when Buddha was asked about the truth, he kept quiet. Either he kept quiet because he didn't know. I can take an aggressive stand and say, he didn't know because he didn't talk about it. Or I can say he didn't have the words to explain because he is not a Kshotriya in that sense. Or I can say he didn't think the people were fit enough to understand, therefore he kept quiet. Take any stand you want, it doesn't matter to me. Take any stand. Fact is, he didn't speak about it. That much is fact. Therefore, 500 years after Buddha, a writer called Nagarjuna came up with the idea Atma Shunya, because Buddha kept quiet. Words can't explain it. It came 500 years after Buddha's time. Writer called Nagarjuna. So in Buddhist thinking also it came much later. Buddha never talked about Shunya. And if you speak to, I have tried various forms of Buddhistic meditations also. What they present as you can experience Shunyata. I tried it through energy work in Buddhism. I have tried it through purely spiritual aspect in Buddhism. Both I have tried. In both the eye is there very much. What they talk about Shunyata will either mean an empty mind, empty of all thoughts, or it will mean the absence of the dissolution of all energies. In both, I am present very much. Yeah, that's why with Zen masters we evolved the term non-conceptual reality. Nirgunam Brahma. Translate not as Shunya, but non-conceptual reality. That's acceptable. Because something is like saying Nirgunam Brahman only. So that much is acceptable. It's a reality, but you can't conceive of it, can't talk about it in finite terms. We also don't conceive of it, we understand it as ourselves. And in Vedanta you can understand it because it's non-separate from you. If it is separate from you, you can't understand it. If there is a non-conceptual reality separate from you, how will you understand it? It's non-conceptual. Anything other than you, you will understand only in terms of concepts. Mark my words, anything other than you, you will understand only in concepts. And then you will equate it to the reality that you are experiencing or knowing. But since this non-conceptual reality happens to be yourself, Nirgunam Brahman is yourself, you can understand it. Natu Atma ekantena avishayaha asmat pratyaya vishayatvat. This is for those who have been attending my Brahma Sutra class. Adhyasa Bhashya. It's not completely a non-object because it's known as I know, I am. So what I am, etc., we can come to know. Because the truth, if there is a limitless consciousness, it has to be self-evident. And it is self-evident because I know I am without the necessity of any pramana. Nobody has to come and tell me, hey, you exist. Oh, thank you. और क्या बोलेगा?
Like Puja Swamiji say, do you exist? I think so because my wife married and she won't exist.
Girls are very smart nowadays. They don't get married to non-existent beings. You can say I exist because of my father-in-law, but that will have different connotations. You can even say I exist because of my wife.
So Puja Swamiji say, no one will marry a non-existent person.
Yeah.
So I exist.
Therefore, the whole thing comes to non-conceptual reality happens to be myself. Therefore, I can know it. Therefore, from existence nothing comes. From Shunya nothing can come. From in between Mithya nothing can come. It's only the Satyam that can appear as Mithya. And Mithya can also appear as Mithya, another Mithya. That's possible. One Mithya can appear as another Mithya. That happens all the time anyway. But it's all appearances, not coming. Not creation. Okay. Oops. Okay, past 8. Good place to stop. Okay. Good place to stop. More of this next class. Okay. There are another 60 verses like this. Don't worry. Okay. Oh,
Thank you, Swamiji. Hari Om, Swamiji.